Good morning, everyone. We are coming to you live via Facebook streaming, YouTube streaming, and Skype. Each one of you is welcome to this live streaming from our studios in Trinidad. 10th of April 2022. Sutras Vigyan Bhairav Tantra, life, love and light. 3 layers of love. 3 layers of love. Life, love and light are 3 layers of the being. You can call it layers of love. But how does life proceed? Life does not come by itself. Life comes through interaction between ovum and sperm, through sex. So sex and life are synonym. Through sex, through interaction between ovum and sperm, between male and female, life comes into existence. Coming of life into existence and its evolution are 2 different things. This is the first layer. This is the layer, the physical layer, or the plane of the body. Each interaction between male and female, ovum and sperm, happens at the physical level. That is why we call it sex. Through this interaction, new life is formed. Only the body is formed. It is an opportunity for ruh or soul in the form of awareness to enter you. So the innermost core or innerness or the flowering of the being is life. How it evolves, how it flowers, it becomes witness in certain stages, it becomes awareness, it becomes watchfulness. You can call it anything, but one name is witnessing, the other name is life. This is one pole. When innermost core or innerness does not flower, does not blossom into being, awareness or watchfulness, life moves in a different gravitates towards the different pole that we call death. So life and death both are connected with one another. 2 poles, they support one another. Life must progress, evolve, flower, blossom as witness, awareness and watchfulness. This can happen through sex. The purpose of sex is not physical pleasure alone, instead to create an opportunity through that interaction for the blossoming, for the flowering of the being, witnessing, awareness and watchfulness. In the process, if during the interaction at the physical level you are aware, you speak with awareness, you interact with awareness, and the purpose why the male and female have to interact. What is the difference between animal consciousness and human consciousness that you have? Each act, each interaction at the physical level must be an embodiment of awareness. I am speaking to you on a topic which is very volatile. Speaking out of awareness. And where does the awareness comes? It comes from the innerness or being that you are, that you call it soul, you call it ruh, you call it the God element. It flows from the inner being towards others through each interaction at the physical level. We are talking about sex and life right now, both are synonym. So it must happen, must flow from the innerness, from the being, and it flows towards the other. In the interaction at the physical level, when you are going through the various aspects of physical relationship, the innerness, the inner flowering in the form of joy, in the form of bliss, in the form of understanding must flow towards the other. If it does not happen, then it becomes destructive. If it flows out of that inner flowering, we create a totally different kind of human beings, evolved. The parents who are evolved, who interact at physical level in that way, they give birth to higher souls. It is the womb that decides what kind of soul will enter. Womb means consciousness, the inner flowering. When somebody dies, I had mentioned a couple times before, based on your life, there are highly evolved souls. They have to wait for a longer time for the suitable womb. They cannot be born out of ordinary womb, means ordinary consciousness. Although every life happens through the interaction of ovum and sperm, but what kind of inner flowering is there? What kind of understanding, what kind of consciousness is flowing at the time there is physical interaction that will determine the womb, the soul that is going to assume the form, will analyze, will choose the womb that is most suitable for it. It is like, can be understood with a simple example. If you are visiting a strange country, you inquire everything about the laws, the immigration laws, the tourist laws, the facilities, and then you look at the different places to stay, look at the facilities. When you are going, do they have sightseeing? Do they have taxi service? Do they have proper arrangement, facilities for stay, meals, and all these things? In the same way, the soul, the part of the soul that is to decide to enter a particular womb, will have to look into all these things. What is the possibility of my continuation of growth if I enter into this womb, or if I enter into another womb? So evolved souls take a much longer time to find a suitable womb. Ordinarily, when people are interacting at physical level, they interact not out of awareness but out of lust, out of pleasure. That through the interaction at the physical level, at the level of sex, there is tremendous excitement, tremendous joy, and so their whole focus is on that, not on the from the innerness. The actions are not happening out of awareness. Why do I have to interact at the physical level? Why do I have to interact with you all? Because you are evolving consciousness, I must provide a background, and whatever I speak should be spoken out of the awareness, deep understanding of life and its phenomena. If it does not happen, will the words have meaning? Will they have the quality to transform your consciousness? The same way, when you are interacting at the physical level through the act of sex, what is your understanding? Are your actions evolving out of awareness that my interaction, although it will give me joy, it will give the joy to the other? What happens through the interaction? There is awareness. Why am I interacting at this level? The life should evolve out of this awareness, this understanding, not out of the interaction at the physical level between ovum and sperm. Through the instruments, the physical instruments. The understanding behind such interaction must come from deep within. It has awareness is an inner quality of consciousness. It has nothing to do whether you are sitting with eyes open or closed. I am talking to you with my eyes open or with eyes closed, or I am interacting at the physical level with open eyes or closed eyes. Awareness has its own vision, has its own light, has its own understanding. Sex has its own understanding, has its own light, has its own vision. Therefore, walk with awareness. It is said, eat with awareness, breathe with awareness, and interact at the physical level with awareness. It has not been pointed out by anyone that the physical interaction between ovum and sperm has to be with awareness, with a deep understanding, with the inner light. Then awareness will become the breath and the life force in you, and a new life will evolve that is for the resurrection of humanity. We call life is the first path. At the lowest level happens through the interaction between ovum and sperm. But life is truth. Truth is awareness. Life is awareness. Life is inner flowering. And when truth begins to blossom through you, know this as the flowering of consciousness, flowering of life. And when life flowers in that way, its beauty and fragrance spreads an aura around as consciousness flows. Consciousness flows through you, it flowers you. Consciousness flowers, you become more and more aware, more and more full of life. And just by being aware, the thoughts begin to disappear, the agony, the pain, and all the misunderstanding and trouble begins to disappear as if the rays of sun are descending in you, coming, and the darkness is vanishing. There is no need for you to fight with your thoughts, with your emotions and feelings. Your awareness, the light that is descending through your awareness, is capable of destroying or dissolving them. And when the mind is empty, the temple is ready to give birth to a new consciousness. And inside the temple, the only God worth placing, worth dwelling, is silence, ecstasy, blessing. So those three words you have to remember. As I said, life, love, and light, or sex at the physical level, feelings at the level of the mind, and the plane of all these are energy, different forms of energy. At the level of sex, as you know, it is solid, it is frozen. At the level of feelings, a certain amount of heat comes in, and the defrostration, the energy, frozen energy begins to defrost. Then it has to evaporate and become part of the cosmos once again. Three layers of energy if we have to look into: sex, emotions or feelings, and awareness or ruh, or consciousness, through layers, three layers of energy: solid, liquid, and vapors. If you look at it from the other side, through the frozen interaction, life comes into existence, but it gravitates towards death. But when it happens out of light, out of awareness, out of understanding, then love blossoms in you. Sex is not love. Love blossoms when energy that was frozen and interaction was happening at the level of the body. It transcends from there. It begins to be liquid-like, flowing. Then you are at the second layer, the layer of feelings, emotions. It is far better. But when it is evolving, interaction has begun at the frozen level, then there is no opportunity for the feelings, this frozen energy to get defrosted. So at that level, what is important? Relaxation, thoughtlessness, and silence. When this frozen energy begins to defrost and begins to be fluid-like, there comes three things: relaxation, thoughtlessness, silence. And when out of these things the interaction begins, blessings happen. The life comes to you as a blessing. Through the ovum and sperm, the life that is created is a blessing. And these three words are no more words to you, instead become experiences. Your life will be transformed. Not only your life, but the life of the one whom you are interacting with through the ovum and sperm, at the physical level, at the emotional level, will also be transformed, and you will attain to peak of consciousness, which you can call it as cosmic orgasm. You have known the orgasm through the frozen energy at the physical level, through interaction between ovum and sperm. And when the energy that was frozen defrosts, become fluid-like, at that stage, very few people are born with awareness. Because of that, your interaction at ovum and sperm is not happening out of the fluid energy. Instead, it is happening through the frozen energy. Very few moments. In that moments when you are operating through the inner awareness, just as you are eating, but you are thinking, you are talking, inner dialogue is going on. You are not aware as the morsel goes in our mouth. How do we interact? How do we eat? Involved in one of the most basic aspects of our life. That was, I had mentioned, in 1989 was my first radio program. That time it was known as Hour of Introspection, and the voice was done by a female radio announcer. When I gave her this script, she said, "You are talking about a spiritual program. Is this a spiritual program?" You may think at that time, by saying that, how do we eat? I may not be aware of it. We have a plate full of delicious food in front of us. And what is in front of you? You have an opportunity to operate at ovum and sperm level, delicious to food, to enjoy, to relish. But how we do? With full of thoughts, with full of inner dialogue. We have a morsel in our mouth. According to medical science, it is said we must chew the food 32 times. The food must liquefy in your mouth, mix with saliva, before it enters through the esophagus into this area for the further continuation of its journey. We have one morsel in our mouth, and the next one in our hands spoon is holding the morsel in your hand. And where are your eyes fixed on the platter, what is on the plate? What is getting less and what I need to put more? Isn't it so? Introspect. And then bring about transformation in your life. Transformation at every act. When you are interacting at home and sperm, when you are interacting with your children, when you are interacting with your employees, when you are walking, when you are eating, when you are sitting, when you are talking. Only very few people are born with awareness. Those are the people who die full of awareness, and they have the opportunity to choose the womb for the next life. If you have been a constant traveler, you know what kind of preparation you have to make before you enter into another country, about your facilities and everything. So the same way the soul that is going to enter into the body that is formed with the interaction of ovum and sperm must make its decisions. If your death is conscious, then the birth will also be conscious, and the parents that you will choose, they will be interacting out of their awareness at ovum and sperm level. Death is one side, birth is on the other side. The combination of the two we call life. Or at the physical level, life comes into existence through the interaction of ovum and sperm, we call it sex. This is why my so much emphasis is on being awake and alert at every level. At the level of the physical level, when the energies are frozen, and with awareness the energies, and how do the solid energy or the frozen energy becomes fluid-like? Only through being awake and alert. When you are aware through life's routes, you will be aware in the final moments of death and through each interaction. Practicing this awareness is the way of life. A conscious death brings conscious birth as well, and conscious birth begins to flower into conscious death. Indeed, it is benediction to be born conscious, and in that your role is important, being aware at the interaction at every level, physical. Then the second layer comes in, awareness, feelings. There the consciousness begins to flower, and when consciousness is flowering, then for the first time sex comes out of its bondage and becomes love. Then for the first time the love is the fragrance, is the beauty that evolves out of sex. Sex is the physical interaction, but it is part of growth. When it blossoms, nobody knows whether this flower will blossom into a handicapped flower or it full bloom to spread its beauty and fragrance and captivate, and many the butterflies and all these will begin to hover around to extract the nectar from the flower, the beauty, to imbibe its beauty, its nectar flowing out of that flower. Then it becomes love, or you can call it, this is the middle layer, life, love. Sex, love remains the middle layer at the plane of emotions or feelings. When your life begins to flow out of this feelings, out of awareness, out of deep understanding, then it becomes light. The flower has blossomed, full bloom, the season of spring has come. The butterflies, the other beings that begin to hover around the flower. This blossoming into light is awareness. It is the greatest alchemy that is there. Just go on becoming more and more aware at every level. You will find your life starts changing for better in every possible manner, whether it is interaction at the physical level between ovum and sperm, or in any form. I am speaking, this interaction is happening at the physical level. I am speaking and you are hearing it. It is not the words that is important. It is the energy field that flows behind the words. That gives, it is the energy that is giving the wings to the words. It is the energy that is making the words to fly, to reach to your ears, create a soothing music and its effect. And then you will not have any choice. Instead, you become choiceless. If the need arises at any particular moment to interact at the physical level, it is with awareness, it is choiceless awareness. It is my choiceless awareness to speak to you, so that what has happened to me, a part of that can be communed to you, and something begins to happen to you. When you are in choiceless awareness, then you don't need to be aware. You are simply aware, and then awareness becomes your heartbeat or your breathing. Two things are important without which life is no more: heartbeat and breathing. When awareness becomes your heartbeat, when awareness becomes your breath, then even if you try not to be aware, it becomes impossible. Whether you are eating food, it will become difficult for you to be unaware. When you are interacting at the physical level through the ovum and sperm, it will become impossible for you to be not aware. And then every effort will make you more and more aware. You are riding the wings of awareness to reach higher realms of awareness, to reach the infinite realm of awareness. And remember, awareness is not quality or characteristic. Instead, it is your whole being. Then sex becomes different quality. Love becomes of a different quality. Light of a different magnitude, different reflection. When you are aware, there is no choice left in you to act otherwise. And you cannot, and even if you are interacting at whatever level you are, you cannot fall back into the dark holes. You cannot fall back into the dark holes. The sun has risen. The entire inner sky is full of light. Then sex, love, light. Life, love, and light are the three stages. The inner sun has risen. The entire inner sky is full of light. You live by this inner light. You are pulse of the cosmos. You are harmony, oneness, bliss. Your words, actions, and gestures will manifest that light, that understanding. There is so much beauty, that love, as light overflows. Sex overflows as love and light. Sex overflows as compassion. And life blossoms into myriad folds. Whatever you do, whoever you interact, whether you are driving the vehicle, whether you are walking on the street, whether you are raising your hand, whether you are cooking, whether you are eating, whether you are doing the work in the office, everything flows out of that choiceless awareness and becomes the expression of light, which is the ultimate stage of life, love, and light. Life must evolve from the gross level, go through the second interaction of feelings at the level of emotions. Emotions have to be sanctified, and only then it becomes compassion, overflows as compassion. Compassion is the light, the fragrance of love. Only this much for this morning, until we meet again for another journey in the process of transformation of human consciousness. Take care and do have a pleasant day.